Raven has told Rhaenyra that her son is dead. She needs to know it for certain.
She was a fool to go alone. What if Aemond were to happen upon her?
Then I would pity Aemond.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first proper episode of House of the Dragon Rewatch. I am Lord Nick Targaryen, and joining me is Lord Ben Hightower. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, you know. We're getting back into scheming and backstabbing and
The plots, nefarious,
types of violence you'd never.
This and this. Sorry, I was going full Lion King on you. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just, we're getting into forms of violence that most people don't really imagine.
Yep, and I was about to say something, but so here's how we're gonna do this. The first 30 minutes are gonna be a spoiler-free discussion. What that means is we're gonna be talking in general terms. We're not gonna avail any major spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode, you are good. At the end of that 30 minutes, we're gonna give our general kind of rating, and then if you don't want to be spoiled, you can leave then. But if you really want the spicy conversation, then we're going to go into the spoiler section. So that's how we're going to do it. All right, Ben, I got to ask you, what are your general thoughts on this episode?
It wasn't one of the more exciting ones for me. I thought it was a little it felt like we were just kind of. It was like they were trying to bring us back up to speed because it's been so long since season 1.
I mean, it's a season opener. What do you expect?
Yeah, but it felt a little slow to me, but I didn't mind that.
I love you too, hardcore bunny. Keep going, Ben.
That was pretty much it. I mean, but yeah, I can't talk about much more without being spoilery, so I gotta wait.
Yeah, I get it. They're like a lot of this episode was kind of just placing the pieces on the board, kind of putting where things are. It's kind of like set a few weeks after the events of the last episode of season 1, and things are heating up to do kind of a dragon thing. But I gotta say, it really had a strong opening. It pretty much had the opening that I thought it would. Everyone, this is a bit of a minor spoiler, but we all kind of knew this was happening. They went and saw the Starks. That was pretty much the opening. We got to Winterfell. We got to see them. This is literally the first scene of the thing, and we all knew this was happening. It was really great to see Cragen Stark. I really liked him. What did you think about Sean Bean's accent? They're still using it.
I think that's a clever thing to do. I figured that was what they were doing. You want it to be like everybody's from specific regions, has a specific dialect, making things consistent, which is a problem with a lot of modern fantasy, is that they usually don't care about being consistent in terms of making things logically make sense where they are.
Yeah, I gotta say, Jace kind of surprised me. Because when we last saw him, he looked very boyish, and he acted very boyish, but in this one, he acted very much kind of like a quote-unquote man, and it actually kind of took me by surprise. They have even it being the same actor.
And I feel like, although I'm probably gonna annoy you with this, but I feel like the guy who played Stark, I wish they had chosen an older actor. He felt like I was listening to a boy pretend to be a man.
Well, you got to realize he's only really become the Lord recently. Cragen Stark died a couple, 10, 30 years ago. So he is pretty new at his job.
I can see that,
Also, Hardcore Bunny, Majora's Mask is going to be tomorrow. So, that's still happening. Also, you do realize he's wearing ice.
Like actual ice or jewelry ice?
No, the Stark Valerian steel greatsword, ice.
Oh,
You know
I didn't.
the one that got melted down and turned into Widow's Wail and Oathkeeper.
See, I'm foolish. I didn't pay attention to any lore of the swords in Game of Thrones.
That's the best part. Is all the swords, Valerian steel swords, the cool name like Heartbane, Widow's Wail, Dark Sister. You know all that cool stuff.
Well, that doesn't beat Andoril.
I mean, Valerian steel is pretty potent.
It's not made by the elves. I'm sorry.
These are made by dragons.
The dragons aren't smart, okay?
Depends on the dragon.
They're doing the bidding of people that are a fraction of their size.
Yes, but something magic. Anyway, let's kind of get back on track here. So, yeah. One thing I was kind of really surprised with is the thing that they kind of opened to with Alicent and the other person. I never realized how. Yes, I'm trying so hard not to spoil.
I told you. It's hard. That's what she said.
Okay. Yeah, you're triggering my head in the gutter. I hate you.
I mean, you mentioned Alicent, so it was gonna get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think here. Like I'm trying to be courteous to people, you know. But
We're talking about Game of Thrones here, okay? We're talking about a show that uses sex to get exposition just kind of out of the way.
I mean, they literally coined a term called sex position. So I want to talk about this scene. So we kind of saw a little bit of it in the first season. Now it's starting to really come into play. How Damon really kind of just sees himself as the ruler, like he's ruling through Rhaenyra.
Oh, definitely.
And everyone just literally, just like everyone in his side, literally just calls him out on it and sees through him like glass.
Oh yeah, I mean he's had ambitions for the throne from episode 1, I think.
Yeah, I know some part of him cares about Rhaenyra, but that's kind of overridden by his own, like you said, ambitions. And this scene, I feel, is really kind of interesting, because I'm sorry, but like going after Aemon like that, he'd probably have to go to King's Landing. Even if he does have 2 dragons, it is still a very risky maneuver, and he has to know that.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't have a good sense on like are the sides evenly matched at this point, or is anybody ahead of the other? I mean,
Well, I think, as they kind of displayed, the blacks may have more dragons, but the fact that the greens have Vagar is a bit of an evening force, because Vagar is just so big, so old, so powerful. You know,
oh lordy.
it would be like I'm trying to think. It's like you have a Pokemon team of all fully evolved Pokemon, and then one person on your team has a legendary. You know.
Well, all the fully evolved Pokemon would win most likely.
No, but you also have a team of fully evolved Pokemon, and one of them is a legendary.
So a full team versus a legendary?
No, full team versus a full team, except your opponent also has a Mewtwo on their team.
Oh. Well, I mean, it depends. Just depends on how good you are.
I mean, there isn't type matches in Game of Thrones, dude. You're just trying to, like.
Just make sure that nobody has like a sand attack or,
Oh, I hate sand. Of course, it's pretty. It gets it. Oh,
or like growl, make sure that you're fully
You've
equipped.
never played Pokemon, have you, sir? You've never played Pokemon.
I have, but I never used any of the status attacks ever.
Clearly not, because you're just naming moves.
I'm saying, when you go up against somebody who's like top of the line, you want to make sure that your stats are all set
Growl.
up.
You do not use Growl.
I know, that's my point. Yeah. I win.
No, you don't. I win. I always win.
I'm on the side of the true heir to the throne.
Alright, yes, you are the green, I am the black.
No, the true heir to the throne is Rhaenyra.
Also, since we're talking about like spoiler free and just stuff that just has no consequence, can we just kind of talk about this scene for a second? Because it's kind of hilarious. Like, Tyland's patience is getting so worn thin here.
For me, like, I liked it as a character moment. I liked how it's like we're getting to see how this king operates, and he's not as I would say he's not as much of an asshole as he was kind of set up to be at the end of last season.
He's a fool. That's what he is. Also, hello Olympian, how you doing, buddy?
But I'm saying, I get that. I'm saying, like, though, like, he's not quite he's not the same type of screw up we thought he was going to be. That's the best way I could put that. He did
have the self-reflection to say he wasn't worthy of the throne. So, kind of give him some points for that. But I don't know. I just see him as a fool, like a drunken fool.
Well, he's irresponsible, and he doesn't know. Like, I think it obviously, because he doesn't want to be king. It's like he wants to spend more time with his family than to be king. But
I mean, he's kind of
shirking
like
his
Robert,
responsibilities.
Yeah, he's kind of like Robert, but like a few steps removed. Where it's like he likes the benefits of being king. Like the like, oh, I can just be drunk on the royal throne, or just I have care in the world. Let other people rule my kingdom. But a few steps removed from that. Like, he does kind of get involved, but he's also a bit of an idiot. So I don't know.
And it's wartime, so naturally, it's not good.
Not at all. I mean, does this look like the face of a man who knows what's going on? Does this look like the face of a man who actually cares?
It's just funny. Like, I started to like him, even though he's a complete screw up. Something about this episode, the way he was, I started to like him.
See, my problem is, like, I get, like, the whole he was forced into this position, but also he's the same person who essayed a maid, and then when called out about it, he called it was just a fun.
I was blanking on that part. Shoot.
I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for this guy.
Yeah, no, I'm not fond of that type of chicanery.
Even Kristen Cole is like, what the fuck is this guy's deal? Yeah, so I'm just showing pictures from the show here because I figured that's the best way to avoid copyright. All right, we're not doing that portion. No, that's going to be in the spoiler portion of the show. But dear God. And then, why would an upper class care? Because upper class people can still be human beings, and
well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I think that in terms of where they were as a society psychologically, I think that she didn't care so much about the morality of the situation as she did. I'm talking about Alicent.
Yeah.
I don't think she cared so much about the morality of the situation as like just like this is gonna make us look bad.
Also, the fact that like you had to give the girl moon tea and whatnot, she had to clean up the mess, and then he was so flippant about it. Yeah, but a lot of them at least have the gumption to be discreet.
That was the point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would agree with you there. It's more about like lack of discussion than there is anything else. Okay, we're gonna talk general about the scene coming up, but okay, Ben, you obviously know what the scene is I'm showing you, but
Yes.
I deliberately chose the shot because it's vague. How did this scene make you feel? And be vague about it, sir.
I was just mostly. I don't think I was really feeling much from it because I haven't really been super connected with like Rhaenyra as a character. But
Yeah.
but I did like I appreciated the acting. I appreciated what she was how she was emoting.
Yeah, like I gotta be honest here. I kind of like the younger Rhaenyra actor in season one a lot more. And I didn't really like the older Rhaenyra at the end because I feel like he was very flat. But I do have to give the actress here props. Her acting is a lot better this season. Just what little we've seen her, she is a lot better, and I do have to give her props. Like, there's this one shot where she's just looking at the camera, like shortly after this, where you can just see it in her face, and it just, oh god, I feel sorry for you, lady.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's how it is. It's like I'm a lot of the characters I didn't feel super connected with like I did with original Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, some characters like I kind of care about. I think it's more of like a bit of a slow burn kind of thing. Because I think it's because a lot of these characters are just outright bastards. Like they're kind of very.
Well, yeah.
Like the thing is, I liked younger Rhaenyra, but at the same time, she kind of created a lot of her own problems. Viserys was likable, but he was a fool. I don't know. Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe it, hardcore bunny. Because Fire and Blood, I think that goes over a lot of Targaryen history, and Dance the Dragon is just a part of that book.
See, again, like I didn't read the books. I was bad.
I mean, to be fair, neither did I. So,
I read the books for Tolkien, so I know everything.
No. I will mute you. I will mute you, sir. You're not going there. Like, okay, this is a bit out of context, but can we get just like the dirt face on this dude?
He's ill-equipped to be king, and like most kings in this entire series, there's been like maybe two that were acceptable.
See, say what you will about his character, the actor is just giving a performance of a lifetime with this guy. I gotta give props to the actor; he's really good.
Well, yeah, it's like I prefer. I think of him in the same way I think of what's his name? Joffrey's younger brother.
Jackie. Wait. Tommen.
Yeah, I think of these two in the same way because they're both kind of. It's like.
But Tommen was actually a decent person.
No, I know, but I'm saying like they're similar in that like they were both kind of forced into this position, and they don't quite take it as seriously as they should. It's like they're a little too lighthearted about it.
I don't know. Like with Tommen, he wanted to be a good king. Like he wanted to do good.
But he was young. He was a boy.
And actually, dare I say, see, here's the tragedy of Game of Thrones. If Tommen had never actually been killed, the realm probably would have been better off. Because, say what you will about Tywin, but he actually wanted a stable realm. Like, he's actually a good hand of the king. And he would have mentored Tommen really well. That's kind of the tragedy, because, like, after Tommen died, like things were actually kind of starting to get better. But Cersei, she just couldn't handle being sidelined, so she had to do her Cersei thing. But we're talking about a whole different show here.
Well, they're connected.
By about like 200 years, but
Yeah, but I'm saying like you can see in the writing of the show and all like they're trying to do reflections of the characters of the original series to a degree.
yeah, for sure.
Because like I see similarities in a lot of the roles of of these characters like to Game of Thrones.
hmm So I kind of want to talk about this scene a little bit, and we're going to talk more about generalities. Um, but I think it's really interesting because it speaks to where Allison's character is at this moment, where when she does the thing at the end, where it kind of shows where her head is, and it's kind of backed up by her actions throughout it. Like I think her love is actually starting to border on willful ignorance. What do you think?
Um, See, I the main thing about Allison was just that I felt like she was kind of the innocent, decent spirited girl, like becoming corrupted by the politics and having to learn how to be conniving.
And it's not natural for her. It's not her nature.
Yeah, and it's like I see her trying to connect with Rhaenyra and all that, trying to be the way things were to an extent, but it's sort of like a futile effort. It's like she's in denial almost.
Yeah. Allison is a kind of a tragic character because like she's kind of been led along all her life. Very few of her choices were ever actually hers, and she's just kind of had to deal with where she is in life. Um, and it really kind of shows like in her ticks. Like I think like the OCD with like of scratching her nails is actually a really good like indication of where like like she feels like she does have no control over her life. Um, and Yeah, but at the same time, there kind of comes a point where you can only blame your situation. You can only blame you. You can only blame external first forces for so long before you realize you are the problem. And I think that's kind of where Allison is quickly heading towards. Is and especially when we start talking about the finale, um, she herself is kind of for the problem here. What do you think?
Well, she's definitely indulging in ways that
And we will get to that. We will get to that, but you're kind of getting a little bit close there. Um,
I look, I didn't cross the border.
you were getting close, sir. You were getting close. I had to pull you
I
back.
can't walk by the border.
No, you can't look across the border either, sir. That's not allowed.
That's some bull.
I don't care. Um,
Well, you know who would care? King Aragorn Alessar.
nope. I have my finger on the mute button. All right, so another out of context clip here. Um, I do find it kind of interesting that he's got like his posse of cronies, or whatever, and he's just sitting drunkenly on the throne. What was your reaction when you saw this scene?
Um,
We're focusing on him, not him.
I well, I think I was amused because like as much of an idiot as he was in it, I thought that would probably be me. Like that's probably what I would be doing. Just hanging out with my buddies, being like, I can't believe they actually put me in this position.
Yeah, one thing that I find interesting is there's never any shots of him getting cut. Like they show that with Viserys, because you know how like the lore of the throne is if you get cut by the throne, that's the throne rejecting you. I do find it interesting they haven't shown any of those shots. I find that kind of interesting because they made it deliberately did that with Viserys. I don't. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Yeah. Yeah.
That's all you have to say, sir.
No, I mean I agree. I think that they're probably doing that on purpose, just because it's like, they don't want you to have a clear choice of which team is technically in the correct.
Yeah, though I think they're kind of doing a bit of a bad job with that. If I
I
might.
don't know. I thought it was all right.
Uh, but I don't know. Trying to like waste time to like. So I'm trying to scrub through it to find it.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to add to this, sir?
Well, I think I mentioned it when I was opening. I thought most of this episode was kind of slow, but I didn't quite mind that. It was just kind of a change of pace, because like I think most of season 1, it's like each episode focuses on a heavy event and we jump ahead in time, and it's like now it feels like we've kind of slowed down in the moment.
Yeah. So before we throw this, I think this will be like the last thing we talk about before we throw out the spoilers. So obviously you know what scene this is, right, Ben?
I'm trying to remember.
I'm deliberately
Oh.
yeah, I'm deliberately choosing out of context clips to like help with the like not spoilers. I felt like this kind of scene was a bit contrived, to be honest. Like it was, kind of convenient. Like, oh, we need to get this person back into the plot or whatnot. Just felt a little convenient.
Well, it was. I could, without being spoilery, I can say it was dark. Uh, and that's kind of typical fashion for this series. Is it's like every time I think, well, okay, it's gotten like as dark and as dirty as it can get. It's like they find ways to subvert my expectations.
Yeah. And then, so Dave says, interesting how the posters heavily advertised ladies. Much of the story in this episode revolved around the men of the houses. Yeah, you're kind of right on that, actually. Did you notice that, Ben?
Well, I always figured the ladies are always going to be kind of their mascots for the show, just because
Yeah.
I think they're kind of trying to work the angle of, well, the main characters of this one are female, even though we have a lot of male characters to pad it up. But these two are the most important.
Yeah.
Which it's like they're kind of the least interesting part of the show.
At least this episode, though, for sure. And yeah, David, I can't wait for the next episode either. So, okay. So we're going to give our final general thoughts on the episode, give it a rating, and then we'll start talking about spoilers. So, Ben, what are your final thoughts in a general, non-spoilery sense of this episode? And you will be muted if spoilers.
Good. I've seen better, but still good. I mean, it's. I mean, I would say it's league. It's above the last few seasons of Game of Thrones, but I would say there have been better episodes so far, but it's not bad.
All right. So, out of a scale of 1 to 10, how would you give this episode?
I'm gonna go 7.
Okay. So, as for myself, I thought it was, like I said, it's a decent start to the episode. I didn't think it was really as slow because I felt like it's kind of getting things into place, and it really picked up towards the end, which we will be talking about here. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10, and then Dave says, also, I don't know if you guys know, but they changed a big part of the book. Dave, let us know about that in about 2 minutes because, okay, here's everyone's favorite part of the episode. So if you don't want to be spoiled, our thoughts on the episode, feel free to come back next week. But we're going to throw up a huge spoiler thing. Actually, I need to create the band. banner for that. Let me just. All right. So from here on out, we have spoilers. We're talking about spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, please, for the love of God, leave now. And if you complain, it's your fault. So apparently, Kristen Cole is quite the giver.
Are we talking about Alicent?
To Allison anyway.
Oh, right.
Wait, let me just.
No, I was envying him.
Okay. This was actually the shot I was talking about. I love the look on Rhaenyra's face. That was I was like, yeah, that was like some damn good acting right there. So this is getting too hot.
No, I felt she was good through the whole episode, even though she was barely in it. But they were doing well with the whole grieving mother thing, and I approved. I've always found her to be kind of the weakest part of the show. That was actually one of my favorite parts of the episode.
The Greens have 3 children heirs in the book. Aegon has 2 boys and a girl. Oh, I think I remember reading something, but I forgot about it. So what's funny is, so in season 1, they kind of imply very heavily that they've never actually done anything up to that point. Like, she acknowledges that, oh, I know you have feelings for me, but please keep sipping for me.
Well, he's doing what I should have been doing.
Oh God, we're so getting demonetized now. But
there's nothing demonetization about it.
Oh God. So this is every Batman fan's worst nightmare. And if you're a comic fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It was the best part of the episode.
Well, no, actually. Yeah, I knew about that part, David. But I feel like they kind of did that part in the blood and cheese thing. But yeah. But here's the thing. While we're talking about, let me just. Oh. Oh, hi. Wrong button. Thank God I was wearing a shirt. But like the thing is, yeah, I'm scrubbing. I'm your only viewer. There's nothing to monetize. Oh, hardcore bunny. That's me.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Let me just trying to get it to like a certain shot, but see, like they're like, oh, we're not going to do this again. Yeah, you know they're going to do it again. Wait for it.
Yeah, it was just the timing that was really messed up. But it's like, I mean, what else is new with this show?
All right, I got it. So yeah, and you ain't losing shit if you want to act a little more edgy. Fair enough. But here's where I was talking about, like, here's the thing. Christian was probably supposed to be guarding the both of them, and because he was so preoccupied with protecting her, you know.
I mean, we might just they were playing hide the salami, okay?
He was too busy playing hide the Valyrian steel sword.
Mine was better.
Fuck you. So if he was actually doing his job, this would not have happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I think the only reason he gets away with half the shit is because he's good looking. Like, the actor is insanely good looking. And I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I think because he's so good looking, is the reason he gets away with a lot of this crap. Yeah, I think the problem is they let him get away with it. So he fucks Rhaenyra. Um, he kills a person at a wedding. Like, that's not even discreet. There's like hundreds of people that witness that, and he's still a member of the Kingsguard. He kills a noble at a small council meeting. I think the only reason he's still around is because he's useful and he's loyal.
Well, I mean, isn't he the one who's currently giving Alicent her back bending?
Oh god. He's blowing up her DMs. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I kind of got that.
And she's a grandmother.
He's a guilt.
And it's the most. I never thought I'd see a show where when a small child is being murdered, and then when the mother runs in to warn the grandmother, she's busy in the middle of it.
Well, the thing is, when your grandmother looks like that, oh crap, whatever. Let me just remove that. But when your grandmother is as hot as her, I'm sorry, like, yeah, would.
I never saw this coming.
Dude, come on, man. Bonk.
Yeah, it's like every time I think I've seen the limit to like the violence and depravity of Game of Thrones, they always have to up the ante on me. It's murdering a small innocent child.
Well, and to see my problem with this is, so David, if you're still here, correct me if I'm wrong in this one. I think the way the Blood and Cheeses incident plays out in the show, in the books, is Damon deliberately targets the kids, whereas in reality, Rhaenyra gave the call to kill Damon. So Damon hires two idiots, honestly.
Yes.
They're there to kill, Damon. Oh, I'm sorry, not Damon, but like Aemon. God, these names are so confusing. And they we can't find Aemon. Let's just kill them instead. Like, it makes it more of a comedy of errors rather than a deliberate act. Like, this just kind of makes.
Well, I thought I didn't think there was a specific target. I thought it was just that. I thought they were just like, we need to kill a prince.
No, it was Aemon. They're trying to kill Aemon, which, by the way, unless you just catch Aemon sleeping, there's no way either of those two are killing Aemon. Like, the guy is a world-class warrior, and you guys can barely catch rats.
They were doing all right with the rat catching, but when he kicked the dog, that was it for me.
So Damon was targeting the Scar Eye Kid in the book as well. Is that what you're saying?
No, the rat catcher guy, he kicked the dog, and I am not cool with that.
Honestly, it's just a cheap way of showing I'm evil. I kicked a puppy. I'm evil.
Somebody needs to kill him.
Oh, I'm sure he's probably gonna die, but it's just, I don't know, the way the whole situation played out, it kind of makes Damon look like a bit of a moron.
Well, I mean, I think it, this whole business of like, well, one of our princes is dead, so now we got to kill one of theirs. It's like, well, that's just gonna get things nice and settled down. I mean,
yeah. See, I understand wanting to kill Aemon, because he killed your son. That logic makes sense to me. But the way this all played out, it's just. I'm gonna say this wasn't really the The City Watch guys seem at least somewhat competent.
No.
Bad guys win. Two heroes win every other time. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I want the good guys to win. Always.
There she is.
This is why the true heir to the Iron Throne is Aragorn Alessar II.
Okay. Are you ready to behave, sir?
Son of Arathorn, descendant of.
Okay. Fuse box is temporarily muted. All right. So this scene, we're talking about. You do realize this is the only time Rhaenyra speaks in the entire episode.
Yes.
So she comes back in, and she walks up and says, "I want Aemon Targaryen," and then walks back out. That is some powerful shit right there, my man.
I enjoyed it, but she is a lesser queen.
Nope. But yeah, I'm pretty much Team Black right now too, just because Team Green is just too conniving and just I don't know.
They don't have Rhaenyra has the legitimate claim to the throne.
Yeah.
The entire question of the legitimacy of that claim all comes from a complete comedy of errors.
Can I be honest? I wanted this woman to be queen. God, dear God, this is the only woman with only person with outside of like the sea snake with like a level head on her shoulders. Like she's the only one who keeps her cool the entire time. I want her to be queen. I am sorry.
I mean, I don't want any of these people to really be king or queen. They're unworthy.
You're unworthy. But yeah, her having so few lines, which is really, what I agree was really powerful. But yeah, let's go back to this. I really did like this. You know, I think they also cut out a subplot where I think Jason is supposed to fall in love with like a Stark girl or something while he's there. But yeah, that is definitely ice. That is without a doubt ice. They're flaring the sword, and it's really nice to see it.
I guess like the impact of the scene kind of loses some of its punch because of the fact that Arya killed the Night King.
Yeah, and the fact that like they have the cat's paw dagger and whatnot. Yeah, this was nostalgia bait, and I'm sorry I had to fall for it with line and sinker. Like
We all do it.
Yeah, just seeing Winterfell, hearing the theme, and just like, oh, they're at the wall. Oh, there's ice. He's Dragon Stark. Also, here's the other thing that's kind of weird. So, in this scene, it implies that Kragan Stark is aware of like the whites of death. Like he heavily implies that he's aware of it. If that's
what does race have to do with this?
That's not what I'm talking about.
That was funny.
Right.
You knew it.
No, it wasn't. Shut up.
It was.
All right, so I'm just gonna go by the book term and call them the others. So he's aware of the others. So if this is a secret that's passed down by oh my God, yes, David. We'll talk about that in a second. Why wasn't this information if this information is passed down by Starks, which would make sense? Why isn't Ned aware of it? When in the very opening of Game of Thrones, when he's talking about the White Walkers, he acts very nonplussed about it. He acts like he's kind of like, oh, blah blah blah. You'd think if he was aware of it, he would have acted differently. So, but the other big thing is something better to happen for us to see is also in the future is Dany's dragons just fly over there like they weren't scared. Yeah, because Kragan talks about how dragons refuse to go over the wall. Like, that actually happened. In the books, they talk about that. And yeah, that's kind of an inconsistency. Where, like, Dany's dragons just fly over and go beyond the wall like it's nobody's business.
Yeah. I mean, we could say that because Dany's dragons were kind of removed from, yeah, they're the first dragons in forever, that maybe their lack of wisdom let them fly over. But I am just pulling this out of my butt.
I think
We
I
all
think,
know.
I think the dragons forgot that they were afraid of the wall.
Yes.
To quote those horrible wretched creators. Can leave the wall. I'm not sure what you mean because like they did show like the Stark thing of like the Starks choosing 1 in 10 men. I don't know if that tradition was carried over to modern day because like in the books and in the show at least we never actually saw winter. Like I know during winter in the north, sometimes old men will say, "I'm gonna go hunting," and then they just go out in the snow and die so other people can have like the food and whatnot. I know that's a thing.
Yay.
But yeah, I kind of did find that kind of thing. Oh, I think he was like 2000 Starkmen. He said graybeards. I think he meant old men. I think what he spared was like older seasoned warriors of that were Starkmen that he gave to them. Like basically kind of people that were a bit disposable, but they still had some still usable.
Well, no, he offered them the help of the Greybeards of High Rothgar.
Oh my god! I was literally thinking that when you said that. Oh.
He was teaching. They have the Thuum.
Usrata! Can you imagine how different this show would be if certain people could speak the voice? Okay, we're not going there.
No, they need to. We need to make. I need to make a Skyrim TV show.
So, fun fact: did you know that Skyrim actually started out as a Game of Thrones game? Like, Warner Brothers wanted Bethesda to make a Game of Thrones game, but they made Skyrim instead.
But isn't Skyrim just part of the Elder Scrolls?
Exactly. But that's what their ideas for the Game of Thrones game turned into Skyrim.
Oh.
Yeah, Hardcore Bunny, I do agree with you on that. Okay. All right, fair enough. I mean, I don't really have any proof to back it up, so your word is just as good as mine. What? If I don't have any proof to back it, if I don't have any receipts, this scene just kind of struck me as odd, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that from the ending scene, I thought they were trying to say that she was kind of like had some kind of oracle ability or something.
Oh no, she's very clearly a dreamer. They pretty much said that in season 1. But hey, David, thanks for hanging out. We'll be doing this next every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. So if you want to talk about episode 2, feel free to drop by. Someone asked Todd Howard that, and he said Skyrim was development. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I have been proven wrong. I'm not afraid to admit it. But like, I always feel really bad for this girl.
I felt bad for her until she basically let her son get murdered.
I mean, she had a knife to her throat. What was she gonna do?
She could have fought.
Dude, she's like what, $120, $110. She's not a trained fighter.
I know, but the point is you try. Dang it! Doesn't matter if you go down in the process.
She is a sheltered girl. I think I do have some thoughts on the scene we just put up. I think that Aegon is coping with his dad never caring about him and is overcompensating with his son. Yeah, I could believe that. All right, bye, David. Thanks for your input. I really appreciate it. I can totally see that. What do you think? What do you think?
Oh hell yeah! No, I mean, and also, I mean, I think that's like really insightful, and because yeah, I got the vibe that that was one of the things I think I liked about him was how he clearly wanted, he was clearly trying to be a dad to his kids, which we're not super used to at this point in
It's
the show.
commendable. It's kind of commendable. Like I do think he is a bit of an interesting character because he's not really evil. I'd say if I were to put him on the D&D scale, I'd say either neutral evil or chaotic neutral with like evil tendencies. Maybe.
Yes, I'd go for that one.
Where would you put him on the scale?
Yeah, I would put him as more neutral, just because I don't think he's definitely not virtuous, but he doesn't have evil intent.
Yeah, like Joffrey is very, very malicious.
Oh yeah, he's the ultimate example of psychopath.
But yeah, like obviously Tywin was lawful evil for sure.
Yes, he was
but,
he was making the world go round.
Otto is also like lawful. Honestly, I kind of feel like Otto is lawful neutral.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him evil.
Like he's doing what like Tywin is lawful evil. Definitely. Otto is not really trying to like. I think he's more lawful neutral, but it's more on the evil side of lawful neutral. If I could.
Tywin was the Maven Blackbriar of Game of Thrones.
Maven Blackbriar. Is that going to be a thing now? Or that's okay.
I know Skyrim.
Yes. The king, not a boost. Okay, we weren't demonetized before. We are now.
I get annoyed with the fact that in Westeros and all that, we don't really have any contact with the gods.
Well, we kind of know they exist. We do get like godly things happening. But yeah, anyway, this scene, it kind of struck me as weird. Like you said, he's trying to be the father he never was, overcompensating.
Yes.
But I do find Aegon, like I said, to be a bit of a complicated figure, in my opinion. But yeah, I really, really do not like Kristen Cole. He has also, they're setting this dude up for like bigger things. I can tell.
I got that vibe. Yeah.
Like you do not do this kind of scene. Like I think he might be the heir to Driftmark. I kind of have the feeling he's going to marry one of Laenor's daughters and be the future heir to Driftmark. I'm just getting that vibe. Like, also, can I just say this? I would love for him to play Idlewild if they ever like adapt Assassin's Creed 4.
Wait, what?
Sorry, that was a bit random. And I totally mispronounced the dude's name anyway. So. But yeah, I really feel like they're set. Like that scene just felt like just set up. Oh, here's another thing. In Game of Thrones season 8, they acted like scorpions were this new invention, and where they literally had them hundreds of years earlier.
Well, we don't talk about the later seasons of Game of Thrones didn't actually happen.
Yeah, it happened in our nightmares.
They're non-canon.
You just look at Kristen Cole's like he's got that like, oh, I just smoked a big blunt face, and his girlfriend chastising him about like, Kristen Cole, did you smoke again? Yes.
See, I get the vibe. I don't know. He strikes me as a very cool customer.
I just don't like him because like he's just, for one, he's like a huge fat hypocrite. He's only really kept around because he's useful and because he's good looking. That's those are the two reasons.
Yes, and that's why I identify with him.
You are not going to be. I will say this though. Kristen Cole has proven how cunning a linguist he is.
Wait, I get it.
I broke him.
No, I didn't get it at first. It took me a minute.
But like, he gets in the relationship with Rhaenyra, and he spurns him, and he just acts like a jealous lover. It's just, he is very, very frustrating.
Well, I mean, he's doing what I would be doing if I lived in that world.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is she complains about like being usurped a lot, but what does she actually add to these strategy meetings? If anything, she's holding people back.
I don't know. I mean, she's not really contributing much, but I mean, I think it's because like compared to the king, she's much more useful. She at least asks like pertinent questions.
I mean, if the king is 0, she's a 1 in terms of the useful scale. Otto being like a 7 or an 8, Aemon being a 6 or whatever, but he's barely above useless in this scene. It's just, I empathize with her, but god dang, I think what I love about the two main characters is both of them, really. Both of them really just kind of do themselves no favors.
Yeah, I don't connect with them that much. I think Alicent has become hot.
Yeah, I would say I don't really connect with them, but I do empathize with them. Like, I have empathy and sympathy for them.
Yeah, because I think we talked about it in the last episode how I got vibes that in the very beginning of the show, I thought they were going for the whole they're really lesbian lovers, and society won't let them be together, and so that's what starts this war.
I mean, the fact that they launched this during Pride Month is that just makes that theory like so much more powerful.
It's like we could have avoided this whole civil war if you had just let them be together.
Just let them frick. Okay, speaking of fricking, this dude is just getting even more creepy. Like,
well, I thought he was. I figured he was trying to find evidence of the Queen's diddling to use against her.
I'm just gonna go say this. This guy puts Varys to shame. Like, in terms of like the spy master stuff, he is like the worst. And I love how it's like, I like all your other people. They no longer breathe their own air. He basically killed all her servants. Also, Alicent is not having fun. She is not having fun.
Well, from what I've seen in 2 scenes in this show, she was having a lot of fun.
Well, she's so stressed out by people watching her, she needed to blow off some steam by having a Kingsguard blow her back. Okay, we're not talking about that. But like, this scene really kind of got to me. Just like how scared and this is a woman that is truly alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then to go on to this scene, this kind of broke me a little bit. Like when she finally finds what she's looking for. I do respect. Like I have a lot more respect for this actress now. Like she definitely upped her acting game this season. just like her face, the way she acts. She is a lot better this season.
Well, I'm getting, I'm thinking that in the next coming episodes, we're probably not going to get as good as she was in this. I think this was probably like the best.
Why do you
that
say
she-
that?
Because I just, she doesn't strike me as a very talented actress. I mean, she's very bland in the way she delivers her lines.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. See, and then this scene with the petitioners, I kind of found it a bit unnecessary. Like, I feel like it was only there to show, like, okay, he's a bad king. He's a bit of an idiot. Like, okay,
True, but see, to me, I liked how they gave us the positive aspects of him, and that he's empathetic. He wants to help the people in the kingdom. Like, that's a rare trait for this show.
see, like, I don't like scenes that are purely for character development. All scenes.
I do. I love him.
All scenes at least must move the plot forward. Character development is a byproduct of plot. You don't just like pause a show to develop a character.
Well, I didn't think they did that with this. I thought that it showed us that he's not being a great king. It's creating friction with him and Otto Hightower. It's, and I get the vibe that he's probably not going to last as king.
Well, the thing is, when you have a scene where you can cut it out and literally it would not make a difference on the episode in terms of like the quality of the episode, that's when you know you have a problem.
See, I disagree though. That I think this was a good scene. I don't think this was the kind of scene you should cut out.
I mean, you're more than welcome to disagree, sir. That is fine. That's part of the thing here.
Well, I insist upon it.
All right, I shall allow it. It is my kingly prerogative because remember, I can do this. I am this castle.
Yeah, but you know who wouldn't do that is Aragorn and Lesar. These.
Yep, I also just exercise my prerogatives and whatnot. All right, bringing back the White Worm. I kind of alluded to this in the spoiler-free portion, but I don't mind bringing her back, but it just felt a little contrived how they brought her back in the show. Come on, guys.
I totally forgot about that character.
Yeah, like Damon cast her aside multiple times, and he's mad at her for checked notes, trying to survive. He sold information. Like he betrayed her so many times. You expect her to have loyalty. Like I said, Damon is not doing his best in this episode.
Yeah, he's acting on his impulses more than thinking things through.
Yeah,
I thought his story was pretty much done after last season, but now he's getting more involved.
Well, his story's not done until he goes to the God Die. People who know the story know what I'm talking about. Oh god, that's going to be an epic battle. Like, oh god, I wonder how they're going to pull that off. But
well, it's no Battle of Pelennor Fields.
Oh, just you wait, sir. This might actually be better.
Shut your mouth, sir.
I shall keep it open. If anything, I'll shut your mouth permanently. But I really like this scene. Where you have Jason, he's trying to like do his duty and give his report, and like Rhaenyra is like looking at him, trying to be the queen, and like neither of them could do their duty. They just needed to be human. They needed to grieve as mother and son. I really like this scene. I think they both did a really good job.
I agree.
Anything else you want to add?
No, it was good.
Yeah, I just like I said, I do think I do think the actress Rhaenyra, did a lot better this season. Um, Also, I love that the first time we introduce him, he's eating cheese. Like that. That is a shout out to book readers.
Um, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, blood and cheese.
That reference is over my head.
You uncultured swine. Also, I just want to say, why is Aemond always the best dressed person in this entire show?
Because he's got an eye patch.
Also, his actor he always just owns every scene he's in. Like the way he sits, the way he walks, just exudes confidence. I love it.
Because he has an eye patch.
Because he has an eye patch. Is that it?
I guarantee that is everything about that character. People love characters with eye patches.
And I think his acting kind of leans into it. Like you notice how his head is kind of like tilted down a little bit, so that like like his head is kind of actually down with the line of the eye patch, and the way he's looking at it looks really cool.
I know it's that's the power of having one eye.
I need an eye patch.
One of the main characters in Outlaw Knights has a cybernetic eye because it's just that alluring.
I'm starting to get the feeling that this dude is not a very nice guy.
Oh. So,
This episode is just me saying a bad pun and then him taking like 3 seconds to actually understand what.
no, I was like looking at the picture because I couldn't see him at first. Like he was all shadowy. And so I was just like, look, I'm like, why are we looking at her? Who's she? And yeah, that's the rat catcher asshole.
I love the actress. Like this woman has just been a great actress from day one. Like she's been doing very subtle acting.
The asshole that kicked a dog and then murdered a child.
Yeah.
And the mother who wouldn't fight for her child, who just ran away.
Okay, just stop. Just stop, man.
Just ran away. Ran straight into the arms of her mother-in-law who was getting railed. I said it.
Also, we haven't talked about this before yet, but like, I really like the new opening.
I wouldn't paying that much attention to it. I was just kind of chuckling about the fact that they've been using the same theme song all this time.
Well, when you got that banger of a theme song. Yeah, Hardcore Bunny, that's kind of, like, I will agree, like, even Game of Thrones proper still had heroes that you could root for. Yeah, they were complex, but they were still heroes. This one, yeah, it's kind of got, like, that modern day, like, oh, everyone's evil, everyone's different flavors of evil kind of bullshit, That's where my head was until we got the scene with our king trying to help out the common folk. Dude, just oh god.
It was a nice blend of showing how incompetent he is, yet that deep down there's some decency in there.
Like, okay, I respect the complicationness of it, but he's not a hero. He is not. But
there aren't really many heroes in Game of Thrones.
There's enough. At least there are heroes.
The main guy I viewed as a hero in Game of Thrones was Ned Stark, and he got his head cut off.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the point.
Oh, Lord.
It's kind of hard to, like, pinpoint certain things. I'm like, His face actually is kind of funny, to be honest. He's got that like kind of funny face. I mean, at least he's getting something. I'll give her that much.
Think about the fact that this easily could have been Numenor.
Nope. You're not.
No, this needs to be said.
Nope. Hey, nope. I have my finger on the mute button. I do find the scene to be actually really adorable.
I didn't find it adorable. I found it like really nervy and annoying.
How so?
Well, because it's like they're trying to talk business, and the king is just indulging his kid. And while it does make him, it's like, okay, he wants to be a good dad. At the same time, it's like priorities, man.
Well, his problem is he wants to be a good dad, but he doesn't know how.
And using using one of his magistrates as a frickin' pony for his son.
See, he's not a hero. But I love how done Allison was. Like she was like, "For God's sake, this is a political meeting, not a. We can't fight here, gentlemen. This is the war room."
For God's sakes, Jim, I'm a doctor.
Not an equestrian. All right. Let's wrap this up. I think we kind of stretched this out long enough. I'm getting tired of you trying to make this a Lord of the Rings show. So
the comparisons need to be made.
No, they don't. I am banning them by royal decree. All right, your final thoughts. If you've mentioned Lord of the Rings, I'm literally going to boot you from the show.
I thought that the episode was good, wasn't great, didn't blow me away, but it did the old charm that the old Game of Thrones. It did the old charm that the old Game of Thrones did for me, where it would draw me in with certain bits of intrigue and
certain bits and bobs,
and and grandma's getting railed.
Grandma's getting railed. I mean, you're right, but you're also wrong. But yeah,
I am totally down for that. And
you're down. You're down for Allison.
Yes, I don't like her as a character, but I find her very attractive. I love the fact that, like, just from a totally shallow aesthetic point of view, I love the fact that a lot of the main characters just have white hair. I just always thought that was the coolest thing in fantasy.
You're so racist.
And I like how how they're taking the time out to make sure that different ethnicities and different speech patterns and stuff all kind of have an origin point. They're not just thrown in there randomly.
Sure.
Everything's consistent. And yeah, I really hope that we get some more handsome heroes, because most of the dudes on this show are, they've been hit with an ugly stick.
Except for Kristen Cole, that dude instead.
I know. Why do you think he's got the queen?
He's pulled two queens.
Exactly. This kingdom is desperate.
Oh God. So I think this is a good start to the season. A bit slow, but I think that's par for the course. This feels like old Game of Thrones. So at risk of being wrong, I'm just gonna fully hop on the hype train and say, "We're back, baby! We've never been so back!" And just watch 3 episodes later. I'm like, I hate this fucking show. But hey, we'll see that. So we're gonna end it here. We're gonna do the show every Monday at 8 p.m. as the episodes go. I was gonna do it at 9, but then I realized the show drops at 9. It just kind of doesn't work. So we're gonna do it Monday at 8. So please join us next week, where Ben is going to try and make even more Lord of the Rings references, and I'm going to shut each and every one of them down.
Also, the Silmarillion.
Okay,
always remember the Silmarillion.
That too. So, as always, this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press, and remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones to walk through it. Bye, everybody.